So how bad is crypto mining for the environment? That's what I'm going to talk about. In this video, so let's get right into it. So just a little bit of facts for you guys. Bitcoin mining in the US created around 40 billion pounds of carbon emissions in 2020, I believe. Don't know why I said I believe, I should probably know the day, but proof of work mining takes an insane amount of computing power, and as a result, it consumes enough electricity it could power a whole country, which is pretty crazy. So basically, the crypto industry wants to reduce 100% of its emissions by 2030, which is a reasonable goal, you know, maybe not 100%, but we can work towards it. And similar to the mining industry, like just normal mining of natural resources from the earth, it takes a lot of energy to mine that stuff, and that's basically what crypto mining is like with proof of work consensuses. So yeah, to understand why proof of work mining takes so much energy, you need to know that crypto itself isn't a centralized system, so the blockchain needs its users to update the blockchain by validating transactions and creating new blocks. Now, there needs to be some protection against fraudulent transactions being added to the blockchain. So basically, it's set up so that these transactions are really complex to solve, and this creates a lot of energy demand to solve them. So when GPUs and ASICs are mining, they are competing against each other to find blocks of transactions to mine, and the mining process is just them solving these complex math problems that the blockchain is set up for them. And the proof of work model is the most popular consensus for cryptocurrencies because it is a very secure and easy way to use. It's just really energy intensive. So yeah, mining difficulty goes up when there's more miners on the network, making it harder to solve the transactions and much less efficient because miners are just competing against each other, and the transactions are being harder to solve, which basically means that more energy takes to solve them. The University of Cambridge estimated that 132.48 terawatt hours is used annually by Bitcoin alone. So just imagine all the other cryptocurrencies like Ethereum, I don't know, Ravencoin, Flux, like it's gonna add up. Now, Norway uses 123 terawatt hours. So basically, from this study, the same amount of energy going into Bitcoin mining is enough to power Norway from 2020. Like, just take that in. And as for CO2 emissions, it's kind of hard to measure this because not all the energy used for mining is, you know, like non-renewable. Like some farms use renewable resources, so it's kind of hard to measure this, but basically it's estimated that at around 40 billion tons of carbon dioxide will be produced from Bitcoin mining in the US in 2020. And also every 4 years Bitcoin goes through a halving, which means that the amount of carbon emissions needed to make that one Bitcoin doubles right away after a halving. So it just keeps getting worse and worse, you know, like it's getting more complex and complex each year to solve transactions. But there's a but. Not all cryptocurrencies are bad for the environment. Like some of them don't use this energy intensive proof of work model. Proof of work is just the most popular one because it's the easiest to use. And as time goes by, new like innovations are going to come out, and there'll be new ways to secure a blockchain, because the main point of proof of work and all these other things is just to secure a blockchain, because cryptocurrency is decentralized, so you need something in place to make sure it's secure. You don't want someone coming in and being able to take control of the coin and, you know, take everyone's money basically. So yeah, proof of work is the most popular consensus, but you know, there's a lot of different ways to verify a blockchain that uses much less energy. So that brings us to proof of stake. Now, proof of stake is the second most popular one to use for a cryptocurrency. I'm sure most of you guys have heard this before, but it's basically just staking your coins in order to have the right to mine and verify transactions of that blockchain. So if you want to, you know, secure a blockchain, you need to stake a certain amount, and then you'll be randomly selected to mine transactions. And basically, the coins you stake are locked into a validator node, which can then verify transactions. And instead of competing against other miners to find blocks to mine and having to solve really complex transactions, the blockchain just chooses a random validator. And, you know, like if the validator is sending fraudulent transactions, then there's penalties and there's just fees taken out of the amount you staked. So, you know, you don't want to mess with that. And this way it saves like 99.9% of the electricity from proof of work, which is pretty crazy. And you know, some people don't like proof of stake because the person who stakes the most will earn the most, but that's also true for proof of work because whoever spends the most on mining hardware is going to make the most. So yeah, I think proof of stake is a lot better, especially for the environment. It kind of sucks for like crypto miners who just want to make money, but you gotta save the earth too, you know. So yeah, like the biggest coin that uses proof of stake is obviously Solana. They're the biggest user with a market cap of around 28 billion or something. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. Now, like, you know, as time goes by, there's probably going to be other ways to secure a blockchain. Like, it's just going to happen, you know. There's some weird ones called like proof of burn, proof of capacity, and proof of elapsed time. Don't really know what proof of burn is. It's just like a mix of proof of stake and proof of work. not really that popular, but like this coin called Slimcoin uses it. And there's also proof of capacity, which is, you know, like hardware mining or hard drive mining. So coins like Chia, you just have, the more capacity you have, like more hard drive space you have, I guess the more you can mine. I don't know, I haven't really messed with that too. I should probably make a video on it in the future, but yeah. And then proof of elapsed time, I have no idea what that is. Anyways, the point is there's other ways to secure a blockchain, and you know, as time goes by, more things are going to come out, and one may be more popular than the other. Yeah, so Bitcoin's monthly consumption went from 6 terawatt hours in January 2020 to almost 9 terawatt hours in January 2021, and then to almost 11 terawatt hours in January 2022. So it's almost doubled in 2 years, which, you know, obviously that growth is slowing down because there was the big crypto boom recently. Now it's probably dying off a bit, but yeah, almost doubled in 2 hours. Like energy consumption, that's just crazy. And that just makes it more complicated to mine the Bitcoin, and you know, uses more energy. So if proof of work mining wants to continue and be sustainable, the electricity needs to come from, you know, renewable resources. But obviously, like if you're trying to mine a coin, like it doesn't tell if you're using renewable resource or not, so like there's not really a way to like fully shift over to renewable resources. But I'm sure like a lot of big farms can, you know, start to work towards it. But yeah, like some coins are just ditching proof of work completely, like Ethereum, and Web3 is also going to be built upon the proof of stake consensus, which is really good. That's just the future coming out. And then cryptocurrency companies are working hard to reduce carbon emissions to net zero by 2030, and then completely decarbonized by 2040. So like net zero carbon is good, but we're still pushing out carbon. So like it's good to be fully decarbonized, and obviously like the whole world is going to try and aim for that by like 2040, 2050. So, you know, the crypto industry is probably going to move along too, just because laws and regulations come out. But like Bitcoin, people say that Bitcoin's a really safe coin to mine because like you just get an ASIC and it's never going to switch over to proof of stake. But I think that big mining farms will start to shift over to renewable resources, which is really good. And I think just people need to be educated on how cryptocurrencies work and which ones are good for the environment or not. I think that when Ethereum finally goes to proof of stake, people will prefer to use it over Bitcoin because it's better for the environment. So I think that's really cool too. You know, like I'm probably not going to be a big fan of Bitcoin just because it's so energy intensive, and that energy could be used for something else. But this is obviously controversial. Let me know your comments and opinions down below, because some people say like, oh, the energy is just sitting there from like nuclear power plants. It should be used for anything anyways, instead of just being thrown away. But you know, that's just my opinion. I think that being energy intensive for crypto is just not sustainable, because crypto is supposed to be the future of banking. So if it's bad for the environment, then that's probably not good. But yeah, there's a lot of controversy in this, and you know, there's a lot of positives and bad things about it. But yeah, that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed. If you want to read the article that I was researching from, it'll be in the description, and I'll see you in the next video.